Welcome to Lesson 6, in which you give the people what they really want. So we are talking about our freebies, our giveaways, our lead magnets. You're already familiar with the marketing funnel. You already understand how you have to have a give and take relationship and build it up for a long time. You know your core offer. You now know your ideal audience and what it is that they really want. So now it's your turn to give it to them. And the quote that I really like, I believe is from Tim Grahl, although I might be wrong, was to be relentlessly helpful. Relentlessly helpful. Whether it's fiction or nonfiction you are writing, you are just going to continually delight your audience. So how do you do that? You're going to give them things that hit that sweet spot. That's right between your core, or the confluence, the overlap of your core offer and what they really want. Now, these freebies are used in order for you to collect their email address and get their permission to start that relationship, to be able to keep delighting them, keep talking to them, and sell them eventually on whatever it is that you have to sell, or to get them to read or consume and listen to your message. Now, the very best freebies out there have a few intrinsic traits. For one, they do align with your core offer, and they also solve some kind of a pressing problem, or they fulfill an immediate desire. They should also relate back to your books or to your other products, which they will if they go along with your core offer. They should also be really easily and quickly consumable. For example, if I made a 40-part course, that actually is not a very good freebie, because even though it might have huge amount of value, it's difficult to get through it all, and a lot of people might drop off before the end where I get to upsell or give them the next great thing. So it might just be too much for them. They need to be professional and appealing to look at or to watch. Not super professional. This little video, you can see I'm on my boat, but hopefully you should be able to see me and hear me, and you should be able to see my slides. It doesn't need to be glitzy studio unless for some reason that's your audience demands that, but it does need to be readable or viewable, and it really needs to provide some true value. So if it misses the mark, you'll know, because for one, people aren't signing up, or if they're signing up, then they're never engaging with you again. If it misses the mark, it might have too little to do with your book or your product. It might not provide enough value, like it might be all introduction, but never actually tell you anything. Or it might just be reviews of a book, but not actually give you any of the book, or too small of a portion of the book. If it's too complex, too long, too confusing, no. And if it does not address any pressing need or desire, then they just won't care about it. Some people are really worried about giving away the good stuff. But if your freebie provides excellent content, your audience is going to be more likely to spend money on your books or on your products later. Do not worry about giving away the good stuff. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. On the lesson in the text, I do have some keywords for you that you can add to your titles, things like best and tips and secret and checklist. Oh, and the cat's going to join us for part of this lesson. These things help with your SEO, your search engine optimization, and for some reason these things perform better. People really want them. They click on them. They want to get them. All right, so let's with Edgar. This is Edgar, by the way, Edgar Allan Poe, who loves to interrupt me. So let's, with Edgar's assistance, let's talk about the different kinds of freebies, lead magnets, giveaways that you can give. So for some people, we go for the straight book promotion ideas. So these could be things like sample chapters, or short stories, or maybe a workbook that goes along with your book. Some people actually give away their entire book for free. And this might seem nuts to a lot of you, especially if you want to make money with your books. But it's really funny because the authors that I've worked for or worked with that have sold the most and made the most money are the ones that are giving their entire books away for free. For example, Guy Kawasaki, who was one of the mentors for my company, Writerly, he allowed us to give all of our users a copy of Ape, Author, Publisher, Entrepreneur for free. And I was very nervous about this and thought, well, do we need to cap it? And he said, no, give it all out. I think I gave out 5,000 copies of that book. And I was nervous the entire time. But it's very funny because if you go to Amazon and you look up his book, Ape, Author, Publisher, Entrepreneur, How to Self-Publish a Book, you'll see that it is the #1 best-selling paid in his category. You'll also see that it has an insane amount of reviews. Maybe last time it was like 500 reviews. Could be over 1,000 by now for all I know, maybe 2,000. And the reason this is again, the challenge is not to get people to buy your book. The challenge is really to get people to even notice your book. And so when you're giving your book away for free, people read it, they like it. It's the digital version, right? Not the print version. I actually bought Ape as a print version because I needed it for notes. So these people might go off and buy it as a print. They might leave a review. They might buy it for other people. And the other thing that, as Guy said, was that actually most of his revenue doesn't come from the actual book sales. It came from the speaking engagements. And once almost everyone in the self-publishing world had read his book, you better believe that he was keynoting really big conferences like Book Expo America. And those keynote fees are very high compared to what you would get from 1,000 or so book sales, or even 100,000 book sales sometimes. Well, maybe not that much. Other authors that I've worked with that had nonfiction, they made their book free and it became the lead magnet for their consulting services. And yet still, the book, if they had 5 books, the one book that they were giving away for free ended up being the one with the most sales and the most reviews. So go figure. I know it's very difficult to give away your entire book for free psychologically, but you might want to try it for a couple months and see how that goes. If you don't want to do that, you could, like I said, just do the first 3 chapters. People can start reading the book instantly when they go to your website in exchange for an email address. You can also have downloadable guides and activities. You can also have audio. Now, the tricky thing with these book promo freebies is that people have to already know that they want it. So if your book is fiction and they've never heard of you before and you're simply offering them a few free chapters, that's not actually a very compelling reason for them to read it. They don't want to read it simply because they exist. So you might have to start with something else in order to work them back into there. For literary fiction genre, we offered the audiobook for free, which was a very high value freebie because it was beautifully done by an award-winning actor. It was incredible. And people may not have heard of this author before, but if they knew they were a fan of literary historical fiction and we were offering a really nice audiobook and they like audiobooks, that was sometimes all the compelling reason that they needed. They didn't need to know more. And from then, we could go on and later email them and promote the actual print book or the ebook version. And that was fairly successful as well. But again, if you are a fiction reader, if this is a fiction writer, if this is your only lead or your only freebie, you're going to really struggle because you're not really hitting that sweet spot of what it is that they really want and with what you can offer. All right, other ideas, PDFs. So I love the PDFs because they're easy to produce. Anyone can create a PDF. You can create something in Word or in PowerPoint, save it off as a PDF. And it's digital, it's free. You can distribute 1 million of these and it shouldn't really cost you anything. So if you are going to be relentlessly helpful, you can offer things like checklists, guides, cheat sheets, worksheets. The freebie that I have on this lesson that I also use as a lead magnet in other places is a freebie about freebie ideas. So that was a very helpful thing, and people seem to really enjoy that. Now, if you're a fiction author, you can still do these things because let's say you're a romance writer. You can offer a PDF download that is maybe the top 10 books to read when you get married, when you get divorced, when you have your first love, maybe. Something that your readers would really love. And if they love love, offer resources about love or about relationships. Other media things that you can offer. Emails. So sometimes people allow like a weekly tip email or a weekly inspiration email. You can do a video course like this for free or an email delivered courses. Quizzes. You can offer coupon codes or discounts, but again, it has to be for something that you know that they really want. You can offer a private forum or a Facebook group that they only have access to if they give you their email address. Events. Now, I really love using events as lead magnets because the quality of the interaction is higher than just a PDF because there's actual interaction. Even if it's recorded, there's still, they see you as a person and you're talking to them. You can do, if you want to go the really easy way, I like Google Plus Hangouts. They do these on-air broadcasts where you can schedule an on-air broadcast and it is automatically broadcast through YouTube out to anyone who wants to have the link that you can share. And you can embed these later, or even during, you can embed them on your website. Any kind of live workshops and webinars in real life that you could do are great lead magnets. You, of course, want to make sure that you're collecting emails. Just because you were there doesn't mean that you're going to get an email address, and do not rely on event organizers to give you the email addresses of attendees. They might either not be able to, or they might forget. It's just not a priority. So if you are doing a live workshop or a webinar, a speaking engagement where you are there in person, definitely have some kind of thing that you can pass around that they can sign up for. You can also give a website where if they go to that website right now, your freebie's there and they can put in their email address. I'm still a fan of the writing it down. And what I do is I make the list. I put my email on there first and I write it really clearly, exaggeratingly like an elementary school student practicing penmanship, so that people see, yes, make it really clear. And then I offer something where if they give me their email address, I will follow up with the slides of the presentation as well as something else like a free ebook or some kind of guide or a credit for something. So it's not simply that they get the email or that they get the slides from the workshop, but if they give me their email address, I'll also send them something else super awesome that relates to whatever it is that we're there talking about. So events are really great of all kinds, and you can actually sit there and talk to people afterwards. Now it's your turn for your to-do after this video. Go ahead and take out your journal and start brainstorming some of these freebies that you can give away. And I gave a few guides and a few prompts for you underneath the video in the Your Turn section. Go ahead and also download that freebie cheat sheet that's linked below the video to give you some ideas. And while you're coming up with all of these ideas, when you're brainstorming, be very specific. Don't just say, I will make a guide or a guide. Say what the guide is. Say if it's how to find love in 30 days or less, or how to live on a boat when you have a real job. Ha ha ha. Things like that. Don't just say guide. Same with if you want to do a course. Don't just say a course. What kind of course? Memoir writing for the bashfully shy. And also keep looking at what is most relentlessly helpful, what is actually providing a true value, and then also think about the production. What is going to be easy for you to create? What can you create at a high level of quality? and what seems like fun. If this seems like a horrible, too much work, then that's probably not the one you should be working on. You should be it would be great if you were excited about the freebie, the lead magnet, the giveaway that you are offering. And again, don't forget, don't be afraid to give away too much. Provide as much value as you can, because that is how you are building your audience. Oh, and if you do create a freebie and you put it online where we can get it, I would love to see what you create. If you hop over to the forum section for this class and put on a link, we could all go see what you create. We could all give you our email address if it's something that we think is awesome. And you could build your email address, and then everyone else, your email list, and everyone else in this class can get some really cool resources. So do share whatever freebies that you create or already have created in the forum. Thanks.